Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thank you for coming back for another video. And I wanted to give you a what to sell item today. And the item is Lanz of Salzburg sleepwear. And this is a very interesting story because this is a totally made up name that does not come from Austria at all. So let me give you a little backstory, which I always do, so that you will have interesting things to talk about with people who don't watch my videos, and you can have all of this useless information to impress your friends. Or if you ever get on Jeopardy, you will have the answers. So, Lanz of Salzburg is a brand known especially in the United States, a producer of high quality nightgowns, classic pajamas, and other sleepwear. In addition, the name Lanz is concerned with one of Salzburg's most exclusive producer of traditional costumes. The U.S. brand is famous for its so-called Tyrolean pattern that might have been designed to recall images from mother and daughter in The Sound of Music. However, much like this movie, Lanz of Salzburg is not too much related to the city of Mozart. In fact, can be perceived as a typically American brand, where many people perceive Lanz of Salzburg, mother of all pajama tailors, but it is hardly known in Austria. Even more surprisingly, the nightgown makers predate The Sound of Music. Lanz of Salzburg sells its flannel pajamas and cotton gowns for more than 60 years. The relation to Salzburg, however, is purely historical. Lanz is a common last name in Austria, and the font in the logo that the nightgown producers use resembles a typical Austrian handwriting from the early 20th century. Since the brand tries to emphasize the image of homely, alpine, and family-oriented atmosphere in which mother and daughter wear matching sleepwear, one can easily imagine where the reference to Salzburg comes from. And then it talks about some traditional costumes that are also known to be produced there. But the key thing here I wanted to share is that back to the sleepwear Lanz, do not think that every Austrian necessarily has to wear nightgowns and pajamas of that particular brand, not even of that style. In fact, most Austrians would probably react rather confused if you asked them about Lanz. There is neither a factory nor a distributor of Lanz of Salzburg products in the city or province of Salzburg. If Austrians were keen on flannel, they would probably have to order online. This, however, could prove to be an easy task. Many American companies sell Lanz nightgowns not only direct in retail, but also through the internet. And so Lanz of Salzburg might eventually come back to its roots, back to the Alps, from where the brand got its original inspirations. So this actually reminds me of Haagen-Dazs ice cream because that's another totally made up word that does not mean anything. This is just a side note because it's trivia and it was kind of related to a made up brand. But Haagen-Dazs sounds like a Danish word, but it's not. It was never made in Scandinavia. The company began in New York, and the word is made up and was meant, presumably, to sound Danish, so as to call mind to Denmark, which the founder believed would have a positive image in the U.S. and perhaps call to mind cool, icy slopes of fresh snow. Haagen-Dazs was started by Reuben Mattis, a Polish immigrant to New York who sold fruit, ice, and ice cream from a horse-drawn cart with his mother in the Bronx. Later, they began making ice cream and selling it to local grocery stores. They were successful until large national brands like Breyers and Borden squeezed local producers out of the market. Another thing I read about this brand was they wanted it to sound Danish because Denmark had been very helpful to the Jewish people during World War II, and this brand was created so that it would have a positive image for all cultures. So that's kind of interesting piece of trivia, which has nothing to do with eBay at all. So anyway, back to the topic of this video, Lanz of Salzburg. If we look on eBay to see these items, and I've got them here 151 results for Lanz nightgown. Some people put Salzburg in the title, some don't, but I got the most results by searching Lanz nightgown, or I guess we could do Lanz flannel. Let's see if that one brings up more. Okay, that's 541 results for Lanz flannel, and if we go and sort out only the used ones, which are what you will be finding at thrift stores. I have found them new with tags, but let's just look at used just for the sake of argument. There are 168 results of active listings. Now, if we go look at the solds, we find 320. So that is an exceptional sell-through rate because we've got almost twice as many sold than we have listed. So this is the kind of item you want to look for because it has a tremendous sell-through rate and the market is not saturated. Only 320 results. Let's see if we change this back to nightgown, if we get about the same in the used condition. So yeah, that's about the same. It's a great sell-through rate. Now, why do I like these? Is because they are easy to identify. When you go looking down the aisles of Goodwill, or if you're going through the bins or however you're doing it, a lot of people aren't going to be looking for pajamas. That's kind of something on the fringes of, I wouldn't say it's a specialty, but people are going for the high dollar stuff, the coats and the shoes. But there's still money in this because look at these selling prices. Now, obviously the larger sizes are going to sell for more, but I have sold these for many years between $35 and $45 consistently. They do sell better in the winter because people will wear these for their Christmas photos sometimes. So that may be something to think about. But let's find one that's not a really big size. Yeah, this is extra large, 3X. This one doesn't have a size in it. But this is the classic pattern that Lanz is known for. Let me see if I can get a close-up of the pattern for you. Yeah, that's it right there, and it's called Tyrolean, and it's a weird word, and I had to look up how to pronounce it. But you can see in the fabric here, their name is written in cursive in the pattern. So that's one reason it's easy to identify. This is what the tag looks like with the pretty cursive writing and the flowers around it. And let's go back to what the gown looks like. Let's see the front. Let's see the front and the back. Oh, this one must button up the back. But it will have this pretty collar with the lace and usually the striped pattern. Sometimes you'll see it in a red plaid, or it may have, let's see this one here. This is the blue with the hearts. This one is called Royal Hearts. And let me get a close-up of the pattern for you. But you can see again here it's got the words Lanz of Salzburg in right there on the fabric, so very easy to identify. It's usually flannel and very comfortable. I've also found this in pajamas, with a top and a bottom, pajamas, and in robes. So it's not just the gowns, it's other kinds of sleepwear, and children's does well also. So you can see here, consistently selling for $35 if it's a larger size. Let's see what else. There are some that are Disney I have seen with the Mickey Mouse, so those will sell for more, but this is what you're looking for here are the little hearts, the stripes, and it's usually got the Lanz cursive writing in the fabric pattern itself, so it's very easy to identify. So that is another item for you to look for, Lanz of Salzburg sleepwear. Another thing is it's easy to ship. It's easy to, it's just easy to do, period. I know a lot of you guys don't like clothing, but when you can make money selling stuff that is so cheap, if you can get this for $1 or two and flip it for over 25, that's going to be worth your time. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can do a few items of clothing and other things too. I get people all the time that say, I want to buy your classes, but I don't sell clothing. Well, you don't have to just pick one or the other. The most successful sellers have a large mix, a very diverse offering of different things. So that's how you're going to be successful, is by branching out, trying new things, and offering a variety of different items. So I hope that helped you out. Again, the name is Lanz of Salzburg, and would love your comments if you have sold this before, if this was new to you. We actually wore these growing up. We had, like, my mom did the matchy thing for Christmas pictures, so that's how I know about them, but people still do that. So hope this helps you out. Thanks again for watching, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.